I need this in my life. And so do you. Don't try to deny it. You can't deny it. I'm a fucking rider. Wanna fuck with me. Here.
Worcestershire sauce was more for the meat, but I just put it as part of the egg to uniformize the flavor.
The Worcestershire sauce was for the meat, but he put it in the eggs. To uniformize the flavor? What the fuck? What are you do? What are you talking about? Why? If you would have put it in with the meat, maybe, just maybe, you could have reduced down the Worcestershire sauce and concentrated the flavor onto the edge of the meat. You could have maybe saved the fact that you have no Maillard reaction on any of that gray bullshit. And you could have, I don't know, added a little bit of enduring flavor. But instead, you just washed it out in eggs. Oh, I was going through Kurt's, man, this is 2 years ago. He has so many community updates. They're like crazy. I was going through, I'm 9 months ago on his thing. 9 months back. I want to know if anybody can find the post on Uncivil's page. I don't want to sit here and scroll through this. I want to watch the video, but if anybody can find the post of Kurt talking about or showing anything about his date with, his encounter with 3 of his female fans to do dinner and stuff, God, please send it to me. Send it to me on
I could not the other way
Twitter,
around.
send
I
it
knew
to me
I was
on
going to
Instagram.
drain the liquid
Either one.
from the pan when I drained the grease. So I didn't want to put the Worcestershire sauce in with the meats. Because
drain the pan first, then put the Worcestershire sauce in with the meat. If you're going to do it that way, you shouldn't do it that way. You only needed about like 5 squirts of Worcestershire on there. You did not need to put a whole bottle in, you disgusting mutant. Oh my God.
Because then most of the flavor would have been drained out, which is like not what I was trying to do. So I put it with the egg. So that's more for the meat than for the egg.
Then why'd you put it with the egg?
We're not starting to clean soon. We'll be fine. I'll clean up when I'm done.
No, you won't.
I've got some nice kitchen cleaner here. I cleaned up the kitchen before I started cooking. I'll clean up after I'm done. You know.
He cleaned up before he started cooking. We've seen this kitchen. It did not look clean.
No.
Pastor Flash says, does Kurt have a cannoli cooking video? Not to my knowledge. There's stains on that stove from before he started. Those stains go deep into the metal. I don't know how he could do it. The smile as he reads the chat is so disturbing.
Thanks for the super chats, as always.
Yeah. What's it say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some nice Lysol kitchen cleaner. You know, I sprayed everything down before I started. Who taught me this recipe? I kind of just...
I met a man at a crossroads in Georgia, and I offered him my soul, and he said, no, you keep that, and here's a gallon of canola. Go to work. Boxfort defendant says he's retarded, right? Allegedly, no. Allegedly, this man is intelligent.
Just by reading various things on the internet.
Oh, that's...
I'm not sure I ever saw this particular recipe. I made it up.
You think? You think you didn't see this particular recipe? What recipe? Did you just go on Better Home and Gardens and they're like, okay, start with 4 pounds of ground up room temperature meat. Just start there and we'll go. No. I've never seen this recipe online. Yeah, no kidding. It's disgusting.
I made it up.
I made it up.
Basically.
No way. This had to be in Betty Crocker's book. Emerald Lagasse, Naked Chef?
I saw a variant of it one time with just like egg and meat, and then I was like, oh. Like, but the recipe I used before didn't.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You did not see a variant of the recipe that you just used with just egg and meat. That's not true. Nowhere out there, maybe there is. I don't know. If there is, my fingers need to go in those Chinese finger traps, and I need to have to pee really bad. So I can't like get them out. And so I'm just sitting there going, no, I don't want to piss myself. That's what has to happen to me if that recipe exists. If someone can find the recipe, the analog to this that is just eggs and meat, because that's what he said, I will put my fingers in Chinese finger traps and try and get myself out before I urinate myself.
Call for Worcestershire, didn't call for bell pepper, or onion, or garlic.
Just meat and eggs.
So I just kind of made it up. And then the heavy cream I just happened to have, which was nice.
Yeah, so I just threw it in there.
I could also throw it in some barbecue sauce. That would have been good.
Come on, not with heavy cream.
Have you seen the compilation video that Kate put together, the L&D crew dancing to Uptown Funk? I have not seen that. I have not seen that. No.
Funk you up.
Someone will have to send that to me.
We got to rewrite Uptown Funk with like Kurt cooking, right? Like this here, my rice is cold. Got a can of Rotel. It's 2 weeks old. This here, my rice is cold. Got a can of Rotel that's 2 weeks old. I don't even want to figure out the rest of those lyrics. I get depressed. Oh, he rubs his eyes like a toddler.
Oh, I'm tired.
How come I don't use my soundboard more?
Don't.
No
Because
particular reason.
soundboards sound dumb. Who is he smirking at? Wipe that smirk off your face right now, young man.
I don't know really the answer to the question why I don't use the soundboard more.
Because it sounds
I don't really have a good
juvenile
answer
and
to the question.
silly. Your show isn't silly. This is what bothers me. Kurt isn't silly or funny, and he shouldn't try to be. I told him this a million times. I'm like, hey, Kurt, don't try to be funny. You're not. He's like, what? And I'm like, no, those jokes aren't good. You should just be like really sharp on the Constitution and unconstitutional law. That's what you're good at.
The meetup was fine. We had a good time. It was a good event.
The meetup. The meetup. The meetup is what you call your casserole.
I'm happy with my style. I'm happy with what I've got. I was talking to Nate.
Loving is what I got. He's happy with his style. His style is, I'm going to stretch out the collar of this shirt. I stole Philip Seymour Hoffman's hair after he died. And then the rest of me is just a horrific mess with an Apple Watch. It's great.
About like changing the way it's organized, like internally. Because Nate has basically modified the IRAC format from law school, issue, rule, analysis, conclusion, that we were all taught in law school. And he's basically modified that format slightly for his channel.
Great.
And so we were talking about that because Nate and I talk a lot. Nate and I talk like probably at least once a week, and more realistically 2 or 3 times a week. Nate and I are really close. We're the closest. Well, let me put it this way: he is my closest friend within the LawTube genre. So I can't speak to his relationships with other people, but he's my closest just by the amount of time we talk. So Nate the lawyer and I are really close, and we talk like 2 or 3 times a week about strategy and YouTube and things
You should
like
talk
that.
to those 3 ladies
And we were
3 times a
talking
week
today. I was
instead.
talking about some of the stuff behind the scenes that I've shared with you as well, about how I'm using like ChatGPT to help me create modifications of YouTube titles to try to get better titles, and how I'm trying to use ChatGPT to create image prompts for Mid-Journey and having some success with that. And
I love using GPT for image prompts. I think I'm having some success with it too. I didn't notice any of like Kurt's stuff having Chat GPT generated content in it. I need to go watch for it now.
so we were talking about that a little bit. And he was talking about, his format that he uses and how he really gets a lot of
It's riveting.
sponsorship deals that are very valuable to him. I'm like, well, I need to get me some of that, but I'm not getting the kind of traffic he is.
No,
So
you're really
my
bad at doing videos
analytics
the
are
way
not
Nate
as
does
attractive
them.
as his analytics. His channel's also been growing.
Yeah,
where,
Nate's
like, the
really
rest of
good at what he
WildTube has been
does.
flat or declining.
You're not.
Like, we were taking a look at everyone.
Like me, I'm not good at what I do. That's why my channel's been shrinking and shrinking and shrinking for years. Nate's really, really good at being Nate. His videos go viral all the time. It's crazy. Makes a ton of money doing it. Yeah, you should definitely try and figure out how Nate is Nate, but you have to be Kurt. You're not Nate. You won't ever be. You can't tan that much, man.
One's numbers today, except for DUI guy, whose numbers have been increasing, which is interesting. But everyone.
I can't watch any of these people's content, even the people I like. I just don't. I can't do it. It's not good. Like, this is the only stuff. This is my favorite show on television right now is Cooking with Kurt, but it's the only thing I can watch.
Everyone else's numbers have been declining, either in terms of subscribers or in terms of views or in terms of live chat or in terms of super chat or in terms of everything. Like, everyone else has been going down. Or stagnating. Joe Near.
Because that's when I stopped doing trials. That's when I stopped doing trials. That's when all of you stagnated. Isn't that fucking weird, Kurt?
Has been stagnated for a long time. Andrew from Legal Mindset has been crushing it and really pushing really hard. And he's really struggling to hit 100,000. I think he will hit it based on the way that his growth is right now. But he's been he's having to fight really hard. He's having to really crush it to fight whatever it is. And he's having a real hard time getting there. But so he's been having to fight this trend. Emily D. Baker's numbers and her total viewership numbers are way down recently. Nick Rekieta's numbers are down.
That was my bad. I was doing a bunch of drugs and I could not care. I was in a really bad spot. My life was kind of a mess personally, and I was trying to just not live in it. And that came across in the streams, and then I stopped doing them so much, and I just was barely able to even do anything. So yeah. My numbers went down, but it wasn't a lack of interest in YouTube or LawTube or anything like that. It was because my show content went to garbage because I stopped doing the work. That's my fault. I have all sorts of reasons, but they're not excuses though. They're just what happened. And I started producing a show that wasn't good. It was lazy, and I would just drink and drink and drink, and I'd do a bunch of coke and stuff to try and get through those shows. That's why my numbers went down. What's your excuse?
Donnie Andract isn't growing very fast right now. I thought she'd grow a lot faster. Her numbers, to my mind, are underperforming for what I think should be happening.
Yeah, Danny is hyper talented, and she's charming, and she's funny, and she should definitely have more viewers than she's ever gotten. But sometimes that's how YouTube goes. They're very talented people whose channels will never explode because it's there's a whole bunch of formulas that go into it, and mostly it's ad suitability for the particular demographic given reliably at various times. And if people want to catch on to that and they haven't listened to me for the past several years talk about that specifically, if you want to grow a YouTube channel, release the same content consistently at the same time every day and get the Get the 18 to 35 demo locked down, but get the 35 to 65 demo locked down, particularly with women, and you will, if you deliver it at the same time every day, 5:30 p.m. Central Time or whatever, 6:15 Eastern Time, and you do that and you tell YouTube where it can serve a bunch of ads to a bunch of middle-aged, moneyed decision makers who have the purchasing power in the household. If you can do that reliably all the time, they will put ads on your channel and it will explode like crazy. And it doesn't matter if you're doing live streams or short videos, although short videos tend to do better for that. I can tell people how to do this all day. I would do it, except I hate doing that. It's soul crushing. I just like talking about what I talk about. But Doug TenNapel did it. He cracked the code. He's really good at it. And he knew exactly what to do. And he figured it out. He's like, oh, they just want to figure out where to sell ads. And if the YouTube algorithm can figure out where to put a fucking ad that's going to get viewed by someone who might click on it and who might buy something from it, then they're going to do that every single time, because that's where their money comes from. Not your super chats, not live views, not YouTube Premium, but those ad sales. And those ad sales are worth millions to billions of dollars to YouTube. That's the money. Figure out how to show them. I will deliver those ads to people who want to buy. Figure out how to show them that. But the way you do that is you make the same content that's consistent to a specific demographic and a specific subject, so the algorithm knows what you're going to put on there, so it doesn't put the wrong ad on your content. And if you want to make something different, like a cooking video or a video game video, do it on a different channel, dummy.
So I thought that was really well. I was your first super chat thoughts about why, not in particular. I'm glad that you did. Nate is really the only one who's had any sort of growth on his channel recently. Do we get more traffic during trials? We certainly got a lot more traffic than the depth trial, that's for damn sure. Which I massively mispredicted that one.
Yeah, you all did. Because you all went with Legal Bites, who is barely conscious most of the time. Second of all, was a quote-unquote mean girl who was dumb, which I figured out this second. She was like, I want to do the depth trial. I want to claim the depth trial. And I was like, claim it all you want. I'm doing my own. What the hell am I listening to you for? And people kept going to her show, which is great.
Of Rumble. I don't think that's the reason. So, like, and Rob's numbers have also been stagnating, declining a little bit. I mean, not huge, but still, like, he's even suffered from some of this. So DUI guy has been bucking the trend, and Nate the lawyer has been bucking the trend, but everyone else seems to be kind of down.
It's because their content hits very
so I'm not sure what that's due to, but it seems
tastes
to be
that are not mine.
Analytics. And as I've said before, and like for my own channel, this has hit me less than a lot of other channels. My numbers have been very good compared to a lot of other channels in this domain. So like, I've been incredibly steady compared to a lot of these people. And I'm not sure what that's due to, but my numbers have been, I've had more of a stagnancy problem, where other people are like declining. And so like the numbers haven't seemed to have impacted me as much as some of my contemporaries, which is also really nice. So like there are a lot of channels that I think are arguably better than me, but have had this problem hit them worse. So it's interesting trying to like tease all that out and try to figure out what's going on behind the numbers.
Oh my God, I could just tell you.
But Nate and I talk numbers a lot. We talk about a lot about like trends and what's happening and stuff like that.
Nate knows this. Like, just listen to him. Nate's really good at this thing that you're talking about.
Nate said that he wanted to try to get me hooked up with Donnie on. I was like, well, Nate, that's very thoughtful of you, but she's already married, so I don't think that's going to work. He's like, damn, I thought she was the one for you, Kurt. I was going to help a brother out. Like,
Wait, Danny? Hold on. Did I just hear what I thought I heard?
It's interesting trying to like tease all that out and try to figure out what's going on behind the numbers. But Nate and I talk numbers a lot. We talk about a lot about like trends and what's happening. And
My
stuff
brain
like
is
that.
now remembering what I just heard. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but so my brain works in a really weird way. It takes snapshots of what I encounter, see, hear, whatever. And then as I'm going through, I will process things and I'll actually I'll be analyzing the snapshot in my head of what just happened. So I was re-listening internally to what Kurt just said. And oh boy.
Nate said that he wanted to try to get me hooked up with Donnie on. I was like, well, Nate, that's very thoughtful of you. But she's...
Oh, boy. I wonder if she knows that this video exists. Oh, God, that's funny. Yeah, she's married. She's been married for like ever. What are you doing?
already married, so I don't think that's
Just
gonna work.
missed the bus on that one.
He's like, damn, I thought she was the one for you, Kurt. I was gonna help a brother out. But thanks, Nate, that
aren't compelling or don't
doesn't
have
seem to
the
be
it
available.
factor. This fat blob is one of them. So is Keanu. I mean me. Me am smart.
I'm not typing any messages. Leave me alone. That's the funniest thing that could have happened today. Right there. Whoa. Make that smile. We have such good legal knowledge in chemistry.
It was the thought that counted.
Thank you for bringing this to the world. Oh, God.
I'm surprised she's only at 8,000 subs. To
Why?
be honest,
Why are you surprised?
I thought she'd blow up a lot more.
Why is
We're
that?
not cleaning soon. We're waiting for the food to be done.
Why would we
We'll
clean
up later.
Yeah. Clean up after you have
It's
your
not so much
coronary.
cleanup, to be honest.
No, just the meat mountains you left on the burners. Yeah, the egg you sprayed all over the floor and the counters. You know, just that. There's gems in all these videos. There's just hidden gems sitting there waiting. They're waiting for us to find them. Nate was going to hook me up with Donnie.
I'm pretty happy, all things considered. I wish my numbers for my edited videos were a little bit better. I've been
At first, I thought he meant Donnie, like a YouTube rep or something named Donnie, like a guy. I didn't realize he was saying Danny. That's just amazing. Here's the dilemma of YouTubers, and this is an honest moment. You find out that doing these highly edited videos, they're really hard to motivate yourself to get started doing them because like you put in a bunch of work to edit them and make them like really crisp or whatever. And then you put out some barely clipped video that says lawyer screams at biased judge. And that thing goes way better than your edited video that you put a lot of time and effort into. And it becomes this weird, judgment call each time. Like, do I bother putting in all the extra work or do I just generate more content and wait for something to go viral? I mean, some of these videos that I put out 2 years ago or whatever, like the Theodore Edgecombe expert witness video or the Dr. Spiegel video from Johnny Depp. Like they'll randomly pick up 5,000-10,000 views out of nowhere, and so they'll pop up into my little thing like, this video is performing high. It's like, what the fuck? I released that years ago. But all of a sudden you look at it, and the amount of views that they get is an overtime thing, but that's the critical part, is finding out how to make these videos hit over time and not be these short instant hit videos. And that's what Nate's really good at. That's what Attorney Tom is really good at. It's called evergreen content, and having a cycle of that content that's just going to get re-picked up by the algorithm every now and then is really, really important. But it's hard to justify like putting together a video like I Hate Him, but Legal has a great production team, right? And that production team puts together a solid fucking video, and he gets these 2 million view videos all the time, and it's great. But if you do that or I do that, we're not getting 2 million views on those videos. That's not happening. And so you put in all this extra work, or you heaven forbid, you hire an editor like Ryan to try and put in all this extra work into the video, and then there's all for naught. And then you clip something out and it gets up with 900,000 views. Like the Dr. Spiegel clip that I have is his cross-examination or whatever is something like 900,000 views. That video's made over $5,000 over the course of its life. And barely any work went into it other than just clipping and putting it together and clipping out dead space, right? But there's not like a bunch of fancy transitions and citations and like infographics coming up. It's just Dr. Spiegel being a complete douchebag in the Johnny Depp trial. It was great. But you get stuck in this YouTuber's dilemma of like, do I make high quality content or do I make high volume content that people want to see, and what goes viral and what takes off? And it's a tough choice.
I'm a little bit disappointed with the numbers on my edited videos. Sometimes only getting a couple hundred or low thousands. The daily morning live streams have been really good though. 250, 300 people watching. We've been getting good memberships from people. People buy memberships. Been getting good super chats. People seem to like them. So the morning stream is good. And also it's good to have a regular thing. So I've been a little bit disappointed with the edited videos and their performance. Some of them will get like 3,000. I think occasionally like a 5,000. But the numbers are not anywhere where I'd want them to be. You know? So I'm
just
not
keep
sure what
making
that's all
stuff.
about.
You got to just keep making stuff. Make it. My video from a couple days ago, me
But we keep
screaming
trying
at
to do different things. We
Canoni,
keep trying to like
did well. It's like 20,000 views.
make it better.
We'll see how it goes, as time goes on. I don't know if it'll keep trending upward. Things on my channel have been kind of capping out around 20,000 views lately. That seems to be
They're
the
not as
ad buy
produced
that
as
YouTube
some of
sells.
the other videos that some other people do. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe.
And so then
maybe
what I
it's just
hope
'cause
for
the
is that
editing is not
they'll catch another ad buy and
as
another ad
flashy
buy.
and not as produced with the transitions and stuff like that. If I had to put it on anything, it'd probably be due to the simplicity of the edit for my channel. But I don't have the money to pay for an editor because those guys want like $50 a video, and I
Yeah.
can't swing that. I'm not bringing in that kind of revenue,
Oh my gosh.
to afford it. So
How are you doing this then?
it's not that you're not worth it; it's just I can't afford it. And like it might be one of those things that if I
You can't look at it as like, oh, they want $50 a video. My videos don't make $50 each, because it's about the cumulative effect of having these videos coming out and doing it again with consistency, and a consistent art style and a consistent vision really helps. Consistent titling. And you have to balance that out with who you've hired. Of course, Ryan's terrible at it. He's fired from everything. But yeah, yes, they want $50 a video, and then some videos might make $20, but the overall impact on your channel is positive.
paid for it, that maybe it'd bring in more people, but I can't.
But 50 a video,
I can't bank on it.
if you can't find someone who will work for
take that
less
kind
than
of
50 a
risk,
video, what are they doing? Like how complicated are these videos?
Maybe it's the edit. It could also be topic selection. Nate and I were talking about this because I hit a lot of these hard law cases and I discuss
Yeah,
US
nobody
Supreme
cares.
Court cases.
Nobody
And like
cares.
I'll post about all Supreme Court cases, which is interesting to me, but not very interesting to a wide audience. Like Sackett versus EPA is interesting to you and me, but your average person
Well,
on the
you.
street doesn't care about Sackett versus EPA.
Right.
Their average person on the street doesn't care about, you know,
Correct.
the woman with her house in Michigan.
Why not,
They care
though?
about like abortion. They'll care
Why
about
can't you make them care about the woman with the
the
house?
college admissions thing when the U.S. Supreme Court inevitably says there can't be any race-based admissions anymore. But the ones that
So
like have
watch
cultural
me.
impact at the Supreme Court are kind of far and few between.
No, they're
Which is
not.
also somewhat like the dirty little secret.
It's
I
just
think
your
also
inability
the
to
Supreme
message
Court,
them.
that a lot of what they do is fairly mundane. I mean, by like mass population standards, mundane. A lot of 9-0 votes, a lot of esoteric stuff. There was one that was so esoteric I couldn't even understand it. That I actually had to skip on because it was so in the weeds. And that's something I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I mean, I'm sure I could have figured it out if I put my mind to it, but I couldn't figure it out in the time interval
Kurt, do a bunch of cocaine and get arrested. A lot of people will pay attention to you then.
that, when I'm bouncing from case to case, I'm like, it was too hard. So maybe it's topic selection. Maybe it's just not enough pop stuff. I should have
Yes.
done a story on the.
But also, no, your audience is a bunch of weirdo nerds like you who like your nerd analysis. So you have two things. If you want your growth content, you have to do short videos that do have popular culture impact. But make SCOTUS SCOTUS is the most important, probably 9 people on the entire planet. And you can't make that interesting for people, even though you seem to know quite a bit about it. Come on, yes, you can. But if you... Other than that, yeah, I guess pick some popular topics. Usually from SCOTUS, they talk about guns, they talk about Trump, they talk about anything. But you just have to frame it and stop trying to frame it in a neutral way. Frame it in a real way that people give a shit about. Have an emotion.
Should have done a story on the, prince and princess with their high-speed chase with the paparazzi.
That's not your content.
I should have done like, that stuff that's more pop oriented. But it's not really for me, because what's there for me to say about it? There's nothing for me to say about it. From my perspective. So it's tough sometimes.
It's very difficult. Even the best
Oh,
fall
thanks. I'll
down
check out the
sometime.
Discord message later.
Come on, do something. Talk, do anything.
Although the plus side of discussing a lot of Supreme Court stuff is that it hopefully will endear me
It's a close
to
time.
the academic class. So maybe it will increase the probability that
Oh my God. Hopefully, the Supreme Court side will endear me to the academic class. Just go get your LLM and do academic content if that's what you want. But my God, that was embarrassing. May I never say a sentence that horrible in my life.
some law professor, some dean out there will see my stuff and think it's good and want to hire me as a law professor.
Yeah, they're just gonna see your YouTube stuff and they're gonna go, you know what we should do? So we should extend an offer letter, unprovoked and unsolicited, to this person who we don't know actually wants us to hire him. Oh, and he looks like Shrek after a fucking bleaching.
So having the academic
Why would you
stuff
think this would happen?
where I'm
Just
discussing
send
the
out
Supreme Court
resumes.
stuff and trying to explain that hopefully demonstrates that I'm a good teacher. And maybe it will wind up in me.
There's no evidence that you're a good teacher. There's some minor evidence that you can explain some things involving the Supreme Court. Oh my gosh, there's so much of this.
The academic class. So maybe it will increase the probability that some law professor, some dean out there will see my stuff and think it's good and want to hire me as a law professor. So having the academic stuff where I'm discussing the Supreme Court stuff and trying to explain that hopefully demonstrates that I'm a good teacher. And maybe it will wind up in me getting a job as an academic professor. That'd be cool.
This is the most unreal chain of thought I can imagine having.
So maybe...
Yeah, I was on YouTube and...
maybe that's what the payoff is.
Figure maybe
in the end.
Maybe someone will see me and hire me as a professor at a law school. Kurt, I've watched you drink 15 shots of liquor.
Maybe the Attorney General. Maybe the Governor of Texas.
Okay, I was going to make fun of this, and then I realized that the Libertarian Party of Minnesota did ask me to run for Attorney General. Speaking of people who should be Attorney General, hey man,